Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Pearls Politics. I was just typing in some sharing and putting the show out there for you guys to see. And we're not going to be in here too long tonight. Um, I'm a bit under the weather, but my team got my back, okay? And I'm getting ready to bring them in right now. Uh, the heart of the South and my every heartbeat, my son, Tim Harrington. Hey Tim,
Hey,
how's it
Mom,
going?
how's everybody doing?
All right, all
All
right,
right.
all right. And y'all know we don't do any show without her when we're live. Here she is, Kathy
There
C
I
C
am. I'm here somewhere. Okay, how you
Kathy
doing?
Hey,
C
Kathy.
C Carlson. I'm gonna move her up there, and I'll move me down here. Tim, I'm
Uh-huh.
put you up to put you up there. Then when James come in, we might make a rearrangement,
Okay.
and I can do this out too. And we got James, yeah, the Ziggy of politics. There he is. Hey,
Hey,
James,
hey,
how's it
James.
going?
I
Can,
think
James, can you hear us?
he froze on us.
can you hear
Uh-oh.
you're frozen? Hi, Mary. Mary Chooms is here.
Hey, Mary.
Hey,
Thanks,
Mary.
Mary, for joining
Hey.
the show tonight. We're gonna. I'm gonna let James come in before we start because as first stated, I'm a bit under the weather, and but my team gonna do most of the talking. I'm gonna make introductory statements on this.
There I am.
Hey, James.
Oh, you're
Hey,
back. He's
there
back.
you are, James. Yeah. All
I
right.
don't know. The
So I'm gonna move me up here and let
computer's giving me all
James.
kinds of problems today.
Yeah. You still got those pop-ups showing, don't you? You still have your pop-ups showing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We got to get that off. James, I promise you, as soon as I feel better, I'm gonna get on the phone with you and I'm gonna talk you through removing that pop-up blocker. Okay?
All
Yeah,
right,
we're
I
supposed to do that, James. Maybe we can do it tomorrow.
all right.
Okay?
I
Because
got something I want to go over with you, Emily.
Yeah. Okay. You talking about in private on the show, right?
Yeah, no, private.
Okay, gotcha. All right then. So, what's the word, Thunderbirds? We're gonna skip commercial tonight. The word is there's ups and downs all around. Talk, just talk about a ceasefire. United Nations consists of a number of countries. I think 130 countries across the world, the earth. And so they're trying to make a resolution. Two resolutions were entered. Russia entered one, calling for a complete ceasefire to allow humanitarian aid in. And the United States proposal was for a pause, just for a pause on the war to allow humanitarian aid in. And so the reason why the United States and Russia gets to be the ones that submit the resolutions, I think, is because the that Russia is part of the Quint. And I thought that China was part of the Quint, but apparently China is not. But Russia and the United States, that's only it's five countries out of the nine. It's kind of like a pyramid built positionary format that they have on this UN Council. And they have nine of those 160 states will pool their votes together and decide which resolution they're going to vote on. All right. So when the vote that they choose out of two gets approval, then they pass it on to the nine. Then the nine members, which includes the five called the Quint, they are I guess yeah, China is in the nine, but I don't think China's in the Quint. And so then after they give it to the nine, then one of those Each one of those quints on opposing sides have to offer up a resolution to the whole United Nations. And y'all know I've been watching this for almost 3 weeks. That'll be 3 weeks on Saturday every day. And so what happened was that really they're still a deadlock, and they was a deadlock 2 weeks ago for the same darn reasons. It doesn't make any sense. Russia and the majority of the ones that went with the ceasefire, and most countries do want a ceasefire completely from both sides, so that humanitarian aid can get into the people. And because the situation is dire, the people don't have water, they don't have food, and they don't have shelter. They go to the hospitals for shelter, and they're still bombing the places that are where they're supposed to be safe. Every day, all day, every day, bomb, 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 bomb. And these people you got 1.2 million people crowded into a small area of space. You got 11 to 12,000 people stranded, in a shelter in a hospital. Y'all know how big hospitals are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They intended to hold anywhere from 12 to 20,000 people. So you got all these people crammed in to the hospitals to try to be in a safe place. But you got to think about this. All of that, no water. They're not able to wash and clean themselves. So you got a lot of fuck going on, and a lot of stank going on. Not to mention the stench of death in the hospital, the stench of blood in the hospital.
Yeah.
No, ain't no standing no 6 feet apart for COVID yet. So they are susceptible now to the point of catching diseases from each other.
Right.
And anyhow, Russia wants a ceasefire. United States calls it a pause. They asking for a pause. But Russia rejected the United States proposal because because the United States proposal included that Israel has a right to protect itself. Well, you know what, y'all? I'm gonna tell you something. I never thought that I would be in agreement with Putin. Yeah, that deserves a laugh because he couldn't accept. Well, his what they call it. Okay, for the U.S. it was a U.S. ambassador to the United Nations for the U.S. So this was Russia's ambassador. That's ambassador. He says that Russia does not accept. They reject the United States proposal because it contains. It's because it states that Russia has a right to protect itself, from foreign enemies. And Russia is saying they find that to not be the case because Israel was already the dominated entity over these people. In other words, say that Israel ran every facet of these people's lives.
Right.
So you cannot be guaranteed to a right of something that you already own. So that's what Russia was saying. I actually see that point,
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah, come on in here, Kathy. And so I where I was going. I think about this. So well, let me just say this: the United States rejected Russia's proposal. The United States and all the other countries that agree with the United States, because there's some more, like Canada and France and the UK, they're with the United States, and they're saying that the United States proposition resolution reads correctly that Israel does have a right to protect itself, and that they agree with the pause mechanism, but they don't say for how long that pause would be.
Right.
So Russia and the other countries that agree with Russia said they want a complete ceasefire until every single person has, all those trucks can get in there
Yeah.
No matter how long it takes for people to get medicine and
Right.
food and water, if it takes a week for them to get food and water and medicine, then so be it, And they need,
Yeah.
Russia also says that they need fuel, because the fields, those hospitals in the third world country, they run theirs on that their hospitals on fuel,
Right.
was generated.
Generated.
Yeah, and so the United States did not include fuel for humanitarian aid. Can you
Right.
understand? I'm like,
No.
oh my God. So what do you guys think about that? Kathy, come on in here.
Well, military people know fuel is one of the biggest things you need,
Mm-hmm.
to operate all your vehicles. So that is
Mm-hmm.
absolute insanity, I think, not to
Mm-hmm.
include that. Who the heck is in charge of that department? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
So, Tim,
um, it's unfortunate that this World War III is going to be probably one of the most inhumane that we're going to have. However, when I look at it from a different perspective, it's like having two little brothers that were fighting, and the
mm-hmm.
two big brothers are standing behind them, you
Aid
know,
them on.
egging them on. And no sooner, if one thing don't go the way that one big brother wants it to go, here
Mm-hmm.
goes the two big brothers getting into it.
I got you.
Yeah,
Well, and I'm glad you mentioned that point, because the United States claimed that also in their resolution, they were claiming that they believe that this pause would be a pause from the firing, from the bombing and the firing would be a better way for to be able to reach to prevent the war from expanding
right.
into the other parts of the region. And
Mm-hmm.
Russia said, "Oh no, 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 no! Because if you keep bombing these people, Russia is opposing that." They also did not agree with that clause, because they say this what you're doing is inhumane, and you
Right,
are. They say that Israel is in violation of the rules and regulations of wartime,
right,
international war, and let's say, at some point, whichever way it goes, Israel will be charged. That's what the United Nations saying, right? So
right,
I suppose they end up charging the U.S. too, and everybody else to win them, because the majority of the world, I would say this, it appears to me from watching what I'm watching, that the majority, I would say 70%, if not 60%, of the world's population would want a ceasefire
yeah,
until they can get those trucks in there, and people get medicine, food, clothes, and shelter, and some disease prevention, uh, you know,
yeah.
utilities, whatever they need.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's 40% that's saying, no, 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 they don't need that long. Just a pause. But you didn't specify how long the pause. That's the problem that Russia has and the other countries has with the issue, is that a pause. They're saying that you might call a pause 12 hours.
Right,
That's, and say that you've done your duty. So Russia and the other countries are saying no. They need to complete the agreement of ceasefire from both sides.
right,
Okay, back to you, Kathy.
well, yeah, not even giving a time limit or even addressing fuel. It sounds
Mm-hmm.
like the U.S. was really out of it. It doesn't sound
Mm-hmm.
like anyone could agree on anything. Just looking
They
from the outside in.
and
yeah.
they have not, and they haven't. James, what do you think about it? We
Okay.
can't hear you.
He's
Oh, let
frozen.
me let me unmute you. You
Unmute you. Okay, go ahead, James.
go ahead.
Sorry, I had you muted for a little bit.
Okay, go ahead. We can hear you
Um,
now.
I agree
About what, James?
about the policies.
Oh, okay.
Are you agreeing with the United States or Russia's resolution?
I didn't catch the whole thing, so I'm going to stay neutral on this.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you
That's
were.
okay,
You were in and out on that. Tim,
Sorry.
Yes.
what do you think? And more.
Um, I mean, they definitely should abide by the rules and regulations, without a doubt. So I fall into that 60% realm, uh, that that needs to go along with how everything is designed for when it's in time of war. Um,
Mm,
because any violation of that, oh man, like I say, that could have the two big brothers jumping in on it. You know what I mean? Uh,
Hmm.
mm.
yeah, yeah,
Well, the other thing too is that two big brothers are already in on it too.
right,
That, that's just the point, you know.
right,
And what they were saying specifically was saying that when you are starving a people by disallowing the trucks to come in there for food, while you are dehydrating the people by not allowing water to come into Gaza City, and the people that's in ICU are inevitably you are putting them to death
right,
immediately
yeah,
if they can't receive fuel to keep the ICU rooms going, you know,
yeah,
and operating rooms and what have you.
right,
So there's those are the war crimes that why they have lumped together the 60% of the United Nations has lumped this to all of these sort of elements and saying that Russia is violating wartime rules and regulation,
hmm,
and yet the United States is saying that Israel is not violating rules and regulations. So um,
right.
it's
So
just a big mess.
right, so if we can't agree, neither party can agree. What's
Hmm.
the outcome?
The outcome is going to be Iran putting a settlement to it. And, you know, it's not funny, but do you think for 1 minute that Iran, since the United States saying that Iran is the problem with this
Yeah,
whole shebang, the funding of the money and everything, that you think for 1 minute that Iran is going to really just let Israel keep on bombing these people every day? I mean, they've already bombed up half of the city.
right,
Uh, and it was such a beautiful place, y'all. And then the other thing is, I want to point this out since we're talking about bombing. Those missiles, Israel is spending that they're sending like 5,000 missiles over to bombing Gaza a day. Each one of those missiles that Israel used costs $600,000, and we're paying for that. The United States is paying for that because the United States funds Israel
right.
3.8 $3.8 million every year for their defense fund. Now look, think how many years that's been. All right. Now compare this to Gaza City and Hamas. Remember last week, y'all? I told y'all that Hamas make their own bombs, but
Right.
they are just as powerful. Theirs cost total cost. This in U.S. dollars, of course, are not denarii or any of the Iran Iraqi money. Um, an average of $600 per missile.
Yeah.
So that means that what Israel
Well,
is lying. Israel is lying, saying that the missile uh, it costs $600,000 per missile. If I
Yeah,
if your enemy has a missile that works just the same as yours,
good
and
point.
the
Hmm.
value of theirs only cost them $600, you done
Well,
added
that
on like three extra zeros just to get money from the United States.
well,
well, that's how come we're bankrupt because the
right,
military is
but
gouging up everyone.
here's the thing about that, right? We can go to the car lot and get two of the same cars, right?
Mm,
However,
Hmm.
they are the same cars, but guess what? There's a total price difference if I get every bells and whistles and fully loaded that goes along with it, right?
you're right. You're
So
right. You're right.
that tax, even though they are similar or even identical. So it
You're right.
depends on what capability it has.
Well, they don't have the capability. Well, they do have the capability to break it down because that's how they got in the West Bank on Saturday before last on October 7th. They were able to they were able to break in and get through to the wooden finishes. Y'all seen the images and roll through the. So they, what I'm saying that, and now they are questioning. They want to know. People want to know now how many. Will the Iron Dome, actually weaken? You know, at which point in time, how much can it take? You know, in other words, how much can it take? Well, the United States says, well, there's Doug, and he's got us a letter. That Doug.
What's up, Doug?
Oh, that's a nocturnally. Say hello, sorry for bothering you. I want to offer you promotion in my channel.
Oh, no, thank you. No, thank you.
Deals
Mary said hi too.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, all right then. I'm gonna write that down during commercial break, and I will check it out and see what's going on. Okay. So anyhow, excuse me. That's sounded. James,
Yeah.
you and I can hardly make it through here. Without this coffee, can we?
Do you want us to talk a little more? You want us to talk a little more? Or?
Yeah, Kathy, you had a point on that cost difference. Talk about what you were gonna say. Tim had to get in there, so you get in there on that.
I heard something on the TV I want to say too.
Well, no,
okay,
just that the government, you know, like charges, you know, us like $2,000 for a ranch or something stupid like that. I mean, we've heard all these ridiculous figures that they've done to our country, and why do you think we have such a large deficit? It's because of the way they inflate, you know, things that we purchase.
Yeah.
You know, for the government through the military, you know.
And they're supposed to be a discount, but these stores, see, I'm telling you something. Somebody getting some middle money through there on these prices, because I used to work for General Services, GS. I was a GS5 clerk on the top floor of the defense depot building up. And then I had been there for, in that position, I guess about 3 years. Then I got transferred because I was a GS4 actually, and when I was in the front building, and then I got promoted to GS5. That's what GS means, General Services. Y'all, I know my military knows that, but for my audience and for James, General Services. So, and I was procurement. I was a procurement officer for the defense depot. So I know.
In my case, I couldn't be on the front line because I'm my mom's only son.
Oh yeah, that is a defense avoid the draft, and and we'll probably have a draft coming up soon too.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, so and dealing with me being a procurement officer, I know about how the prices are inflated. But at which point, because I know from way back then, and probably the same way now, that somebody, it's a middleman in there somewhere getting some money.
Somebody's pocketing it. It goes into a lot of pockets.
It's more than one. Yeah.
A lot of pockets.
Well, all I can say is they didn't give me none.
Right. That's why they always say wars are expensive.
Yeah, you're right, Tim. All right, let's take a little break. When we come back, I want to talk about the Speaker of the House.
Yes.
Republicans have the new Speaker, right?
Right.
Finally. Yeah. Well, they got it. They actually get it faster than I gave them time to get it, because I thought I was thinking that the war might be on full blitz by the time they got to it.
Yeah.
But they made it. So look, y'all stick and stay with me, man.
I'm telling you why I was so quick too.
Okay, great. Now Tim, you're on deck when we come up.
Okay.
This is Cassie. She never really paid attention to her credit scores until she got Credit Karma and used her scores to score more, like her first ride. When it was time to upgrade, she shopped around for a lower auto insurance rate to go with it. Even when she decided to blaze a new trail, Credit Karma helped her with an auto loan to get her where she was going. Where is she going? Credit Karma. Download the free money app where your hard work pays off.
Oof, gotta get rid of this.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks.
Have you tried New Downy Rinse and Refresh?
It helps remove odors 3 times better than detergent alone.
It works, guys.
New Downy Rinse and Refresh.
Introducing IHG One Rewards. 17 hotel brands, 6,000 global destinations. One loyalty program that lets you guest how you guest.
Victor, why are you still living with odors? Get back in there and freshen instantly with new Febreze Air Mist. That's right, Febreze now has a new, finer mist that floats in the air longer and quickly fills the room to fight even your toughest odors. Leftover fried fish funk? Instant freshness. Gaming teen odors? Instant freshness. Spray new Febreze Air Mist to keep your home smelling fresh and clean.
All right.
All right, we are back. Okay, everybody's back in the session outside. All right, Tim, what's going on the hill?
Well, new Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. What do we know about Mike? Mike is 51 years old. They say he's a vocal supporter of President Trump's. The new Speaker of the House has his work cut out for him with the infighting in his Republican Party. Now, Johnson is a Baptist. He has a wife named Kelly. Prior to his election to Congress in 2016, Johnson was an attorney and served in the Louisiana state legislature from 2015 to 2017. Now, I say it is my opinion that I believe that this guy is a plant. His resume, his resume.
Wait a minute, you say P-L-A-N-T?
Yes, plant.
All right, okay.
I believe he is a plant. And the reason why I say that is because of his resume.
Okay.
He has to have the most basic resume that I've ever seen for anyone filling the position of the House.
I got to tell you about that one, but go ahead.
Right. So.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to rebut you on that. Go ahead.
Okay. But now here's the thing. I read a little bit more about him, right? And they said that he had voted against SSI and Medicaid cuts. So it's like, I don't know, on one hand, it's kind of contradicting itself. So, yeah, fill me in. What do you got on it?
Well, first of all, let me make a correction on you.
Okay.
About what you need to be a Speaker of the House. You don't have to be a politician to be a Speaker of the House. You don't have to be a politician at all. You don't have to be a congressman. You don't have to be a senator. You could put in an application to apply for the Speaker of the House if you wanted to.
Right.
All you would have to do, though, is rally up enough people to vote for you in Congress. Now, the only somebody that's got that kind of power, that would have that kind of power right now, who is not a congressman, not a senator, and not even a president, would be Donald. Oh. And he's the only somebody that would be able to rally up maybe some votes to get enough votes to count. But people are saying that he wouldn't. Correction number 2. excuse me, you said that Mike Johnson voted against cutting Social Security and Medicaid, which is good. We don't need our Social Security and Medicaid cut.
No, he voted for.
Okay, well, you said, I thought you said against.
No, I thought you said.
You thought?
No,
did you hear against Kathy?
I thought I heard that. Yeah,
you did?
He said.
Oh, well, I stand corrected then. I stand corrected.
All right, yeah. Well, it's just that we want to give out the right information.
Absolutely.
So I mean, it's not that I'm putting my finger at you or anything. I just want to make sure that we made that right.
Yeah, and that was my point. It wasn't when I looked, I was like, it's really nothing on this guy, right? It's like they just like he was handpicked. So yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, he doesn't he doesn't have to have a political rap sheet to be chosen as the Speaker of the House. He don't have to have any qualifications except.
Let me ask you this: throughout the history of House speakers, do you agree that he has the shortest background? Okay.
He probably has I don't know about the backgrounds, the resumes, but I think he'd be a good speaker because he knows the way President Donald Trump thinks.
Okay.
And I'm sure they're on a golf course all the time together.
Okay, that's a good thing.
So, and I mean, Trump himself said that he thought that Mike would be a good choice.
Okay, I didn't get that part. I didn't hear that.
Oh, well, you don't get that part because you don't watch news 24 hours a day like your mama.
No, not 24
hours. I'm with you.
Definitely got me beat.
I might be second.
Y'all have to learn how to do it. That's all. It's a trick. It's a trick where you can get a whole lot of information. Except now, I don't do it 24 hours, but I do. I don't want to say that either. I didn't come out right. Double dues. I do watch since this war thing happened. I do watch what's trying to find out what's going on. I watch about 4 to 5 hours a day. So. Right. And I'm not just watching one station. And that 4 or 5 hours a day, I've watched probably at least 10 different news channels. So I watch everything. I see what they're saying here, see what they're saying there, see what they're saying everywhere. Right?
I get pop-up alerts from Fox News on my phone.
Fox News are going. They're going alongside with President Biden. And President Biden is the one that's getting us. And Netanyahu, I can never say that man's name.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Prime Minister Netanyahu is getting us into a third world war.
Yeah,
and I don't agree with that stuff.
Well, do you agree with Biden sending over? I forget what they call them things. They're anti-missiles, and they detect a missile in the air. When they hear it, see it, they send a missile out and blow up the missile before it hits.
You're talking about the Iron Dome. That's the Iron Dome.
The Iron Dome.
Israel is the only little small country in the world that has an Iron Dome. Even the United States doesn't have one, Tim. I did research that.
Okay.
And on top of everything else, get this. Hezbollah and Iran have more powerful missiles than we do.
I can believe it.
Yeah, they probably stole it from us.
No. They just, I don't know where they got them from. China, I guess. I can't say anything definitive on where they got them from.
Right.
But I do know I did research that, and also I listened to a military expert yesterday. It was just yesterday. Y'all know I couldn't do nothing but for so it was a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That's all I could do was let him watch TV anyway.
Well,
and there was this military commander, retired now, and he was talking about the different types of missiles. That's how I found out that the missiles that Hamas and Gaza City use cost $600 to make in United States dollar value, and that every missile that Israel shoots over there costs $600,000. and they just keep firing like crazy.
Well, like you were saying, well, we have to remember China has the biggest military in the world.
Oh, definitely so. Definitely, no doubt. No doubt.
Well,
So
that's because
No
they got
doubt.
the biggest population.
right, it's not a far stretch, like you were saying. You know, did they get that from them? You know, we don't know. And
Don't
one
know,
thing
but that
about
I know they got it. Go ahead.
yeah, no, I
No,
just one thing about the war, we don't know how long this war is going to be.
it's gonna
How
be a
long?
long one. I know. It's gonna
What's
be a
that?
long
How
one.
long?
It's gonna be a long one.
Yeah,
Because
years.
see the thing about it is, and I also researched whether or not we can hold an election here in the United States if we are at war. So
Well,
guess what? That's what the difference is.
go ahead. I'm going to tell you
That,
something
that
too.
there is a difference. Okay. Now, a matter of fact, I got it on my phone. Go ahead, Tim. So you do yours, and I'm gonna pull up mine and
Look,
read it.
you guys check this out.
Mm-hmm.
If you have Siri, this guy asked Siri,
Mm-hmm.
when was the World War III, the end of the world was coming? Siri answered March the 24th, 2024.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it blew my mind. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you have Siri, ask that question.
Oh my
And,
gosh,
and
what made you do that? I would have never thought of that.
right, it was this guy. He was on YouTube, and he was like,
Oh,
everybody need to check this out. And he asked, asked the
He,
question,
he
and
asked it live while I was on the show.
yeah,
He asked it live, huh? Okay.
right, right, yeah. But he was doing like a podcast, sort of like,
Mm-hmm. Like us. Yeah.
uh-huh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And
And he
Siri
asked,
answered.
and it went into more detail than that. But
Mm-hmm.
that's just the book part of it. But it had more details, and everybody was just in awe. You know what I mean? That it could put a time and date and details. It blew me.
Could be. Could be. All right. So I researched this. How does starting a war help a United States president get reelected? Number one fact is that Americans don't like to change of leadership in times of war. But if they don't support the war in the first place, that's different. And then the other related question is, why do presidents usually get reelected during wars? If the US is winning the war, then there's no reason to change. And that's why you hear Netanyahu and Biden hollering, we will win. We must win. All right. We could go back and look at each major war in United States history. The War of 1812, there was no election during that war. The Mexican War, there was no election during that war. The Civil War, Lincoln was reelected in 1864. The Spanish American War, no election during that war. So there seems to be an agreement that if the United States did not cause the war and is winning, that they don't normally have an election during the wartime. There was something else here. It says, I had another article. Um, oh, this is in a different article. He says that this is from Quora, by the way, Quora. You can ask, that's kind of like Siri. You can ask questions to it, but these are real people answers. This particular gentleman says, clearly I was incorrect in dismissing the idea that a U.S. president would seek some extra legal means of staying in power. Some of Donald Trump's attempts to overturn the 2020 election have had the veneer of the law going through the courts. Others have sought to manipulate legal or constitutional processes, trying to get certain officials to assert an inability to stop or delay certification, or trying to get Republican state leaders to replace members of the Electoral College some of those efforts were not extra legal per se. They relied on creative and likely incorrect interpretation of the laws of the Constitution to give officials extraordinary powers. And so this particular thing that there is no some people say that there's no such thing as not having as not being allowed to have an election during the time of war if we are at war. So those are the best two resources that I could find on it.
Yeah.
But I felt that I had mentioned to you, that Netanyahu, Israel's getting ready to vote his butt out anyway. They don't, the majority of his people don't even like him. And they and I've heard them some of the Israelite. I mean, you got 200 Jews that did a sit down in the White House last week and asking Netanyahu and the Israeli government not to do this slaughter in the name of Jews. All right. And I heard a lot of other Jews being interviewed. They don't want this. They don't want that. But see, Netanyahu figured that it might work by him not being as democratic as the United States. Yeah, it probably would work for him if they were at war, when his election time came up around there over in Israel.
Yeah, and let me go off topic for just 1 minute. I want to let everybody know that our heart and prayers go out to the city of Maine where the mass shooting was at. They have, I believe it's 18 unalived and 13 injured. So our prayers go out to them.
My goodness, yeah. What did they ever find out what that was about?
They're still in pursuit of the suspect.
Oh, he's still at large. I did saw that on the news. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll tell you, it's the end of days. It's the end of days. Siri could be right. Y'all better start stocking us some canned goods and some water.
For sure.
But and then the other thing, but they say that we supposedly have a different type missile service that can still detect nuclear missiles and intercept them before they come. Of course, they can't. They ain't gonna publish a whole book on it.
Right.
But I looked. I researched as far as best I could, feeling as bad as I was, knowing that we were gonna have a show talk about those things tonight. Mm-hmm. But it's in March the 24th is when Donald's supposed to have one of his trial dates too. For the next year.
Yeah, he beat the case too today.
Oh yeah, talk about it, Tim. Tell us.
I don't have a whole lot of information. He was found that he did not improperly influence FBI decision to keep its headquarters in Washington, D.C. instead of moving to Virginia. So it was so vague. It didn't go into a lot of details. That's all that I got. But he did.
It's like that's not one of the major ones, right? Right. Mm-hmm. I hear what you're saying. All right, so I did more talking than I thought I was going to be able to do. But Kathy, what did you have for tonight? Did you have anything for tonight?
Yeah, I did. The heat is on Clarence Thomas again.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
What has he done now?
Well, he did rule against student debt relief. And a Senate panel now alleges his healthcare executive pal forgave him $257,230 on a loan. And this is his friend's name. His friend is a healthcare person, and he loaned him. His name is Anthony. What is it? Is it something? Maybe I only got the first name, but Anthony loaned him over $260,000. The findings came 4 months after Thomas joined a majority Supreme Court opinion striking down Biden's student debt forgiveness plans. And Thomas ruled this year Joe Biden was wrong when he tried to give college student loans, but a Senate panel revealed that Thomas had a substantial loan of his own forgiven by his wealthy friend, and he used it to purchase a luxury RV.
Wow.
Isn't that something? Good. Wow. I'm glad that they got him on something. And that, you know, that's what I'm saying all the time. These politicians get up there.
At least they got a paper trail.
In other words, they just get up there and lie all the time. You know, politicians, that's all they do.
Yeah.
You know,
but he's a judge. He's a judge. He's supposed to be better than a politician.
Yeah, he's supposed to be.
Let me tell you something. People that have power, when it comes to the way that a civilization, a community, a village, or a city, or a town, or a state runs, they all lie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they'll do anything to keep it too.
To stay where they are.
A lot of people are in it for the perks. It's obvious.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But they don't care about the regular person.
No,
they don't.
Mm-mm.
They just don't. The working class. They really don't.
Yeah, another news flash. Blinken, the General Secretary of the United States Foreign Affairs, Anthony Blinken, he's doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff for Israel favor, right? So guess what he said? Guess what he did? He calls himself. He wants to revoke the visas of this particular ambassador, Russian ambassador of Russia ambassadors, because they had more than one. I don't know how many they have, but he wants to revoke their visas for the United States because they didn't vote for the United States resolution.
Here we go.
And I do what I tell you, Tim. When you said two brothers, I'm like they're already there. They're already there. And so and now he said, because this is what they said, and this is most of the Democrats. They said they took what he said and flipped it to make it sound like he was in favor of the Palestinians in Gaza and against Israel.
Oh.
But that's not what he said. I heard him when he gave the speech raw, and of course I heard it on replay at least a dozen times. The man said, because you know they had these translators that when they're speaking in these big forums like this, they have a translator. You know, people I don't know how to speak Russian, so they have to have a translator.
Right.
So I mean, if the and I'm pretty sure that he gave a rebuttal on it yesterday and today. He says that they're saying that he said nothing about Israel having a right to defend itself, and his statement about the humanitarian aid all implied that Israel was in the wrong. So that's not what the man said. The very first thing he said was that it was terrible, that he wanted to condone the terrible act that Gaza, that Hamas brought to Israel with the killings of over 1,400 people. And he said at the same time, he condones the continuous bombing of the Gazan city people and Palestinians. I keep want to call them Philippines because that's what they were calling in ancient days. Philistines, I mean, that's what they were calling in ancient Bible time. And he said, but he went on to say that he didn't like them, that bombing 24/7 and bombing into hospitals was supposed to be safe places, bombing into schools, and the place you moved them to the south, told them to go there. And so they would be safe, but yet you bomb in the south. So, that's what he did. He did give most of his defense statements and his support to Gaza and the Palestinians, because he was really focusing on getting that humanitarian aid in there.
Yeah.
And he did only make a very short, brief couple of sentences about he condoned the act of the killing of innocent Israeli citizens on October 7th. He just didn't dwell on it.
Right.
So May Blinken's and U.S. ambassador, that woman, I think her name is Gwen, the black woman that did the reading. She's a U.S. ambassador. Blinken, and I don't know how many others. Used to be 4 or 5 of them. But anyhow, they twisted his words around and said, and they said it made Blinken mad. And he wants to, because the United States is one of the Quint. Remember, the Quint is 5.
Right.
I guess they're the 5 major strongest economies of the world. And he said that he wanted to revoke their visas, the Russian visas, because of what this one particular ambassador said. It ain't got nothing to do with the other ambassadors now.
Right, just him.
So he wanted to revoke all of the Russian. I'm like, where these stupid people coming from? Not only are they leading us deliberately into World War III, they're leading us into oblivion with the World War IV. With this, all this pettiness, not stopping to think for a minute.
Right, and a lot of egos.
They don't look for solutions. They look for problems.
Right.
Yeah. And when there's none, they create them.
Right, but the sad part about it is the civilians are the ones that pay for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. While they're somewhere in their bunkers or
exactly
bomb-proof home underground, we're the ones that end up paying the price for their egos.
So the thing of it too is, I think we're gonna have to draft. And there was another military personnel, retired person, came on too. He says that we do not have the ammunition, the military weaponry that we would need to fight a huge war. We do not have the bodies, the number of feet on the ground,
right,
in our military period to handle a huge war.
Right,
but Blinken and I'm gonna let you tell me. Let me get this in. But Blinken and Netanyahu and Biden is pushing us straight into what we cannot even afford or defend ourselves with. Go ahead, Tim.
Well, why? You go first.
No, I was just thinking about China. If I remember correctly, I believe part of their military is mandatory. If you,
it is.
If even if you look on, say, like YouTube, they have videos of their children in a classroom setting, disassembling and assembling weapons. Right?
Let me tell you something. I could break down an M16 rifle myself when I was 16 years old.
Right.
And I did it because we used to have the ROTC. You remember ROTC in school, Kathy? And well, okay, so by me being a cheerleader, I just kind of pretty much had carte blanche to walk around the whole school. And if I missed my bus, I would, or either on my study hall. We had a study hall in high school. If I was caught up in my studies and stuff, I need something else to do. I didn't want to just be sitting around by myself. So a lot of times I just go to the ROTC and look at the repertory and what have you. And one day, the instructor said, he said, "You want to learn how to handle that gun? Look like you can handle it. Me fast. I can do what you can do." So he broke down the rifle and he said, "Now can you do that?" I said, "Yeah, do that a couple more times and then I can do it." And sure enough, I did. I learned how to break down an M16 rifle and put it back together. So Tim, you're right. These other countries start training their
Can I say one thing about the shots that we got in the military? Both my sister and my brother, I was out of the military by then. They got these shots, and my sister ended up growing like 2 inches, and she ended up gaining like 10 or 15 pounds. And I seriously think that the military was trying to make our military stronger to make up the difference in the amount of people we have.
This called DEHA. Yeah, it's a growth hormone. It really is. It's a DEHA. It's a growth hormone.
I've heard that before.
She grew 2 inches and she gained.
You can buy them off the counter in the pharmacy.
Really?
Stores. Yeah.
Well, they're trying to build a perfect military.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'll tell you one thing. The way that I see Japan's soldiers, North Korea's soldiers, China's soldiers march.
Yeah.
Our soldiers can't move that fast, and they don't have the endurance.
No.
I mean, those soldiers be going, man. They be going. Yeah. Y'all see the video, and they be in sync.
Yeah.
I mean, be like one whole body just moving. Yeah. Nobody steps out of place. Yeah. It's amazing to watch, you know. Why? The reason is because they started training.
They did
when they started going to school.
Yeah,
it's see what I'm saying?
For them, yeah. So it's definitely, if we do go, it's definitely going to be a draft here, which is probably not necessarily a bad thing, right? So
well, no, it's not going. It is a bad thing, Tim. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because it'll be the good guys and girls that will be signing up. The thugs and the thieves and the dope dealers ain't gonna sign up and go no army. They're gonna try to find out a way to get out of it.
Well,
they're gonna die. They're gonna die.
All the politicians will keep their kids home too.
Well, you're right.
Right.
Just like they did in the past.
But let's look at it. Let's look at it like back when it was draft, in the draft days, right?
That was the 60s. That was the last time we had the nationwide draft.
Okay, let's go back to that time, right? You used to have a choice. You could either do prison time or you could go to the military.
Or you could go to Canada.
Right. So believe me, these guys that are in the prison, if left with a choice, they'll go to war.
In the
prison, I think it was Hitler that was doing that.
Well,
giving the soldiers.
The thing about it is, Tim, you can't take. There would only be a certain type of prisoner that you could take out of a prison and put in the military. You cannot take murderers and rapists. I mean, those hard felony crimes. You know, can't stick them in the military. They'll stab us in the back.
Place for them to be.
They'll stab us in the back. First chance they get, they're gonna take a bribe.
They'll go to the other side. They'll become mercenaries. Are you kidding me?
It would be tolerated. I mean, I don't see it. I just don't see it that way. But
I mean, how can you not see it this way? I mean, it goes on today.
It's happened since Roman times. It's happened since Roman times.
Okay, what about these two Caucasian young guys, military sold secrets to Washington? I mean, to Russia. That's within the last 10 years, you know. One as recent as year before last. Young kid. No, last year, because they showed a video of them going into his home, marching him to the car. Of course, they had him cuffed and had his hands in front and not in back. But yeah, he was good on that computer. And he
I remember him.
Yeah. And so they can't babysit these soldiers once they go through their basic training and pass. They can't babysit each one of them.
That's one reason why I joined the Air Force, because they don't have any criminals in there.
Exactly. Thank you, Kathy. That's a good one, Kathy.
My dad told me, "Do you want to march with criminals?" I said no. He said, "Well, better go back to the Air Force then. So
Kathy, were you a WASP?
No, but I guess I was. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing, guys. If we need bodies, they got to come from somewhere. And where do we have the most bodies and the most violent is in prisons and penitentiaries. Well, so hopefully none of this comes to hand. Hopefully not.
Oh, it will.
But if we need bodies, don't be surprised.
Even Donald said
we'll get robots first. We'll probably end up. Probably have a whole robot army somewhere.
I don't
think don't have time for that. Don't have time for that. Even Donald said yesterday he was in where was he in? Milwaukee, Maryland. He was in Maryland. And he said that same thing I'm saying is that Biden and his crew is leading us into World War III. But he also went on to say, I watched him. I was up at, y'all know my sleep has been ragged because I was so sick. So I was up like at 4 o'clock this morning. So I watched, this was a replay, but so I watched it this morning. So he was there last night in Maryland. And he was saying that the war is coming, World War III is coming. And he was also saying that had he been there, it would not, it was Tim, it's so funny because I forgot to share to the Night Shift News group. It's like he took the words right out of my mouth and used my words because he said Putin, he said Putin, Kim Jong-un, President Xi. Yeah, I know all them fellas. I got along with them pretty good too. He said they respected me.
I got a question.
He said they feared me. That's why. So he said that's why I can say that it wouldn't have happened. We wouldn't even be in Ukraine. We wouldn't be having this conflict now. He said that just yesterday. And I saw the replay this morning. It was from ABC News, by the way. No, CNN, by the way. Go ahead, James.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My question is, does anybody know why the State Department Schaefer resigned over Israel?
What was that again? Say
State Department Schaefer resigned over Israel.
I need to hear something about somebody resigning. It was one of the prime ministers, and I think it was about humanitarian aid. I think he didn't agree with nothing whatever the man is.
Yeah.
Netanyahu. Is that it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought so. See, I tell y'all, ain't nothing getting past these eyes and ears right now. Not doing this period.
So, Tim, what you mentioned about the criminals is actually, I don't know if they changed the rules, but they used to allow people with criminal records from the Army join the Army.
Right.
I don't know, maybe the Marines too, but I know specifically the Army because I was looking at the Army.
Yeah, it was the Army and the Marines, and it was particularly because they needed bodies.
Yeah, they. I mean, I did not say that they couldn't join. I knew that. I knew that they can join, and that's what I mean. That has been the whole argument about voting rights. Yeah. Is that the base for the grassroots organizations like the NAACP and other organizations disagreeing with the government, saying that the government is hypocritical. Is because they said people with prison record can't vote. Yeah. We're going to take their voting rights away, but it's okay for them to join the military. So I already knew that. I didn't say that they couldn't join. I just said there's some prisoners, the types of dangerous prisoners that I wouldn't want to let in a military force.
No.
Because they're too scheming and don't think that they don't learn a lot of stuff in there. They learn more knowledge than we do on the outside, pretty much. And especially the ones that run the block, right? Tim, you know about the ones how they run the block?
Yeah, but you also have to realize even when they will work together, if the benefit suits both of them. So you have had different races work together for the beneficiary of each other in prisons. But like I say, hopefully it don't come to that. But I
Yeah, I
just
mean, if we had to do it, if it was a matter of saving our
right,
country,
and we
we would
have
do
such a
it.
long road ahead of us. We
Mhm.
just we don't know what's gonna happen.
Well, I do. And yeah, people can look the other way and pray and hope. But what is staring us in the face is not going to go away. And I
That's
don't care what the government says. I've listened to analysts after analysts, politician after politician. They're saying no, Russia is not going to do so and so, so and so. No, China's not going to do so and so, so and so. No, Kim Jong Un not going to do so and so, so and so. And what have they done? They have formed the trifecta. They made a partnership. All three of these big players
it is.
together,
Yeah.
together, and that was they had all of them met up last week, right? Kim Jong Un left the country for the first time since before COVID. Kim
Really?
Jong Un, yeah,
Hmm.
and President Xi from China and Putin, they all met. And I heard Putin gave a speech too to his country, to Moscow. Moscow is one where that represents that's his the ambassador from Moscow.
Yeah.
That's the one that said
Well,
that.
not only that, King Charles III did address the Parliament the first time since 1951.
Really?
Oh, really? What was he talking about?
That.
Well, I
I
guess
don't
he's
know. They didn't say what he talked about.
probably in
But
favor.
huh?
In favor. He's probably in favor with United States and with it. I don't have a problem with Israel getting some type of retaliation for the intrusion and the invasion. But when he could have gone to another way. He just jumped the horse. He just jumped the gun too fast for me, because he didn't even try diplomacy negotiations. They pay money for hostages. It could have been all Hamas wanted, but he didn't even. Netanyahu didn't even try to see. He just went straight to military, and
Yeah.
so. And then the other thing is the damage on one side outweighs the damage on the other. Gaza is getting worse of this. Those Palestinians, all Palestinians are not Hamas. The majority of the population are Palestinians. They are just normal citizens. And I also found out that on the West Bank, northern part of Israel, where there's a settlement, what the Palestinian settlements were, they said that they oftentimes, even before this war started, would have conflicts with the Israelites because they would make fun of them and throw things at them, pick fights with their children and all that sort of stuff. And I've been listening to the vocabulary and the sound bites coming from the Jews, and I've been listening to the sound bites and vocabulary coming from the Palestinians. Okay, and it's just not right. There's something missing. There's something missing, and I feel this in my gut from the Israeli side. It's almost to me as if not Netanyahu almost saw this as an opportunity to punish. You already got these people. Okay, you already got your foot. Then you have your foot on their neck because you control everything. You control their lives. They're already under your domination. They Gaza is already under domination of them. They could Israel control how much food they get, how much water they get, how much clothes they get, and they can't even leave. They have to go through so many hoops to even how to leave the country. Okay, so you already got your foot down on this person's neck. Every time I think about this, I'm thinking about It's unfortunate to say, but I see the George Floyd moment because I watched it while it was happening live, and it just hurt me to the bone, man. And I feel the same thing happening here. Israel had already had its foot on Hamas, not Hamas, but on the Palestinians' heads and neck. And but now, okay, wasn't that wasn't enough? You got to just keep bombing every day, 2,000 bombs a day, every day, or 2.5 million. I'm at 2,500 bombs in the morning, 2,500 bombs in the evening, in the night. Don't make any sense. Because Gaza doesn't have a dome. They don't have anything to send those missiles back.
Right.
To intercept those missiles, to say. Go ahead, Emily.
No, I was just going to say, kind of changing lanes. We as the U.S. are spending so much money, billions and billions of dollars supporting everybody else. I want to know, and I don't feel the ones that supposed to have our back will have our back in a time of need. Especially if Biden is still commander-in-chief.
Yeah, countries pull out a lot. They start off at the beginning just to look like they're with us.
And a lot of that has to do with the leader.
Yeah.
Well,
trust them.
James, you had a question, and then we're going to get off the show.
Yeah, I just wanted to congratulate you, Emily, on being a number 4th on the Fabulous or 4.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for that.
Congratulations.
Well, we got 2 more rounds again. I think a new round starts after tonight. And we'll see where I am then. But the last round will be the toughest ones. And James, where's my house? I have not been. I've entered, but I haven't got my house yet.
Well, the 21st is the last day for that, Emily.
Oh, okay. I've been sitting my interest. Okay. Yeah, I thought maybe I'm sorry, James. Go ahead.
The 21st next month, they're giving it away.
Oh, okay. So the contest
it ends the 21st
of November.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got a long time.
Keep every day.
Keep sending. Okay, I will. All right. I say I haven't been in my email really that much in 2 days. I just kind of checked my start mail that said it was important. And that was it, because I wasn't really.
You can enter twice a day.
Okay. Yeah, I did see that. Yesterday I wasn't looking at much because my eyes were, how your eyes get when you have a cold.
Yeah.
Little kids' eyes get all watery looking.
Mm-hmm.
My eyes was like that. The good thing was I did not have a temperature or fever, and my blood pressure was great, and my oxygen was great. My oxygen was 97, even though I was having a hard time breathing.
Mm-hmm.
I can see you scooting around in a brand new BMW.
Of course, God, I want a convertible. I've always wanted a convertible car all my life, and you would think I bought probably 4 or 5 cars during my lifetime, and not.
The question is, would you take Tim?
Not once did I decide to buy a convertible.
Mm.
Oh, my first car was a convertible. It was a '69 Ford Galaxy. I remember that.
Look at that.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about, Kathy. All right, so tomorrow night, y'all got your costumes ready?
Oh wow, that's smart.
I gotta go find mine in the shed.
I don't think anybody guessed what we're gonna be.
That creeped
crept in on you fast. Well, I got I had mine delivered last week, so I already got mine. But I'm just, I'm just, I don't know if I'm gonna keep it on the whole show because it might be too hot.
It might be.
Yeah, and either we're gonna do a 30-minute show, one of the two.
Yeah.
And get on out of here, right? All right, y'all. Always remember, even though they're trying to take it away from us, free speech is a philosophy and not a policy. And just remember that. Make keep your heads on your shoulders. Keep your eyes to the sky.
Our forefathers died for it.
What was
don't
that?
Forget.
Our forefathers died for our freedom. Remember that.
Oh yes, for sure. Thank you, James. And therefore, that's why I like to have politics, because as y'all can see, and as we're going to be seeing even more of, politics has a lot to do with our lives. To do with our lives, because when this war takes place.
I got a quick question for you guys.
Okay.
Something we never touched on.
Mm-hmm.
What's everybody's feelings on Jeffrey Epstein?
Oh man, that's a whole nother show.
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
That's a lot.
You got till next week, Tim. Do your homework.
Yeah, that's a lot, man.
All right then. Yeah, I almost forgot about him. I thought he was dead.
He is.
I was right.
Yeah, you're right.
His corrupt life is channeled.
Well, we ain't gonna talk about no dead people, James.
All right, next week, Tim.
All right.
We ain't gonna talk about no dead people. It'd be like that little boy. I see dead people. No, we ain't gonna talk about no dead people. We'll talk. It's too many politicians living, James. Pick you one to talk about.
Yeah, they're walking dead already.
Yeah. Emily and her.
All right then, y'all. That's our time. Everybody say good night.
Good night.
Love y'all. Bye.
Good night.
Night.
That was so funny, James. Okay, I'm trying to end the show.